Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
No more football, just a lot of therapy.
fair enough. You can beat Michael up at practice for doing that to him. Okay. Well, welcome everybody. I'm going to go ahead and get started. And hopefully I catch the people that are in the waiting room. So for those who don't know me, and I really, other than when it says iPhone 3, I think I pretty much know everybody on here. But if I don't, because I don't know who some of you are, I've actually been coaching swimming now, oh gosh, for 26 years. This is my 26th year of coaching. Not all here at the Y. I did coach at the high school for about 10 years. 9 exactly, but that's kind of me. I have 2 kiddos, Michael, who is a sophomore at West Marshall, but swims for MHS, and Molly, who is in 4th grade and is swimming for Blue Waves. So husband, John, 2 cats, 2 dogs, and a whole lot of craziness here at the Y. So that is a little bit about me. Andy, since you seem to be the only, oh wait, Christy's on here too. Andy, you want to start and tell us a little bit about yourself while I pull up my share screen here?
Sure. Andy Cole, this is my 4th year, maybe, coaching. I recently changed jobs again and am now with the county sheriff's office. So I will be a figment of most imagination at night, because it looks like that's going to be the shift that I work. So I'll be around. I'm the motivator guy. I don't necessarily know a lot about swimming, but I know a lot about making kids work hard. So that's kind of my role, I think, or feel. And so, yeah, it's what I do.
It's what you do. Very
Yeah.
good.
And my girls are, 4th and 7th grade now. So Addie and Jillian. Okay.
All right. Did my screen happen to switch over to the PowerPoint? By chance, anyone?
No.
Negative.
No?
Nice.
Nope.
Oh, this thing hates me. This is what I get for trying to do technology. Ha! Where is my share screen at? View. Oh, I gotta let somebody in.
It's like a green arrow at the top that says share content.
Oh, look at that big green arrow. Let's do this one. Share. There, now can you see it? Beautiful. Let's start the slideshow from the beginning. Okay, so we are at the parent meeting. So Christy, you were on here, aren't you?
I am.
You are. Will you introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Christy Bohonic. Avery Bohonic is my daughter.
Oh,
This-
sorry. I thought it was Christy. Coach
oh.
Christy.
My bad. Jeez. No, it's
Well, you
Christy,
can coach
Avery's
Christy.
mom.
That'd be totally
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
No
No,
apologies.
sorry. Wrong
My
Christy.
bad. Oh, that's too funny. I got somebody in the weight room. Now I got to figure out how to get that back. Where's my weight room? See, this is why I don't do technology. Get back. Where's my weight room? I need to make somebody else admin to this once I start.
I would
How do
help.
I do that? Anybody got any ideas? I have to stop this so I can let them in.
Kelsey says you need to minimize or unshare your screen.
I unshared it.
Okay.
Now this thing's being silly.
We can still see it.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, we're still viewing your screen.
Oh, there we go. No, I don't see anybody. Did they hang up on me? Probably because I took too long. Weight room. Oh, it's Morgan. Go figure. Morgan. All right, let's try this again. Okay. We're rolling now. Forgive me. That's what you get when you get technically challenged. Okay, so our team philosophy, anyone who is part of Blue Wave Swim Team is considered a champion before we start practice sessions or competition. Swimmers will celebrate the goals and mission of the Marshtown YMCA YWCA through teamwork and sportsmanship. Our emphasis is based on enjoyment of swimming and progression towards personal goals, whether learning or perfecting the sport of competitive swimming. So we started to introduce ourselves, and I have no pictures. Everybody's pictures disappeared. Oh, here we go. So I introduced me. Patty Herrera, she has been with me since, I believe, 2009. Patty's kids.
You're not screen sharing anymore, Shelly.
Well, why? But I did. Share. Thank you. Okay. So Patty Herrera, can you guys see that now? Yes. I don't have any pictures. of
Yes,
it.
we can see it.
Okay. Patty's been with us for a while. Both our kids are graduated, Marco and Shakira. They are both off to college. She will continue coaching. Sorry, I'm trying to let people in. Isaac, Morgan might be able to help me out. How long has Isaac been coaching? It's been quite a few years. 5, 6, maybe with me. Morgan.
4 or 5 years. I'm not sure how long it's been.
4 or 5. Okay. So, so far, 2 of the girls are swimming, right? Two. I have Emery, and I am so tired, Morgan. Jesus. Elena, Emery, that are swimming, and then there is Reagan. I feel like I'm missing someone. No? Anyway. So Isaac also coaches the West Marshall Middle School swim team. And that's usually in February. So he kind of does that in February, but he's here to help with those big meets. Dee Norton has also been coaching with me for a very long time. She is also our lead official and the one doing the coaches training here in at the end of the month. Becca is, I actually coached Becca and Isaac at one point. So Becca has been coaching. She's also one of our lead officials. Her son will actually join us for swim team this year. Andy introduced himself. We have Heather. We have Heather Pals. Her daughter Zoe swims. Heather is a teacher over at Anson Elementary. She has been coaching with me 3 or 4 years now. And this is Christy that I thought was online. Christy has been coaching with me for several years. I coached her daughters Gia and Claudia, and now Leia. Chrissy, and she is a nurse out at Unity Point. So she will be with us on certain nights as well. And then our new coach this year is actually my assistant, Zoe Beals. I was Zoe's coach way back when. Zoe has now joined me on an administrative level as assistant aquatic director, but she will also be one of our coaches as well in the evenings. So you'll see Zoe's face a lot. I actually coached all of Zoe's siblings, Sam, Mackenzie, and Carson, as well as Zoe. So any questions on your coaches so far? You got to speak up because I can't see anybody's faces the way I have my screen set. Okay. Important dates, mark your calendars. Now, hopefully tomorrow I will finish editing our team calendar and send that out via email. You can print that off and hang that up on your fridge. It is subject to change. Big one, Thursday, October 27th is the CAP. I did not take off headset orders. I have the headsets actually here in my office. So I just need to know if you need one, and I'll get to that here a little bit later on what those costs and things are. The CAP orders were in your sign up packet. If you haven't signed up yet, that CAP order is in that sign up packet. I will also send that out via email here probably next week sometime. If you want new caps, caps will remain the same with that royal blue. So if you have one from last year, you probably don't need one. The week of October 17th, I am actually hosting, which is next week, hosting the girls' high school conference swim meets. So the diving meet will be on Tuesday with the swimming meet on Thursday. The Bobcat dive invite is actually this Saturday. So a lot of meets coming up here the next week that I am preparing for. In between those two meets, we will have a meet and greet on Wednesday, the 19th, just from 5:30 to 6:30. Come in, meet the coaches. We'll have some games and stuff for the kids to play, some team building things. No swimming that night. We will just do really a meet and greet and some team building things. So that is optional if they want to come and kind of meet some people before they come to the first day of practice. So the officials training, I did send a link out the other day. I will resend that as we get going. Here, the officials training is free for Marshalltown parents. You do initially have to pay for it, I think, when you sign up, but I will reimburse you if it does make you pay. So for Marshall parents, it is free. Now, officials, it does not mean you have to be the one standing up on the deck and deciding whether or not a kid is doing a stroke right. Our timers really need to be level 1 certified when it comes to our championship meet. The other good plus about this and why we make it free to our parents is because it is an awesome way, especially if you're a brand new parent, to learn the strokes and learn the mechanics of those strokes. So good way to do that is to join that officials training. Dee does do a nice job. It says it goes till 9:30. I don't think we've ever been here till 9:30 that night. So usually a couple hours depending on the number of questions that are going on. I have one chat, so give me a moment.
Hey,
So,
Shelley, about that training, is that in person or is it?
it is in person, so it's here
Okay.
in our boardroom. Yep.
Okay.
That's a good question. Any others on that one? Okay. I'll get more into that official training kind of later in. These are just some important dates to kind of write down. Thursday, November 10th is our inter squad meet. What that means is just to meet amongst ourselves. It serves two purposes. One, I'm testing that timing equipment for the high school state meet the following day. But two, it also gives our newer families an opportunity to learn how a meet runs. So it is strictly a practice meet. We do time it and all that just so people get used to how things run and how things work, how our clerk of course works. We take time to explain things so that we're not in a panic that first time we show up. For a swim meet. I need both veteran families and new families to join that meet. Veteran families, I have, you guys are my helpers and training the new families. And I have an amazing group of veteran parents that help do that. So thank you to you guys ahead of time. Like I mentioned, Friday and Saturday, November 11th and 12th is the high school state meet. A little bit later on, I will be asking for volunteers for that. I did send out an email for those of you who were on Team Unify already regarding the volunteers, and I'll get more into that here in a little bit. Last big day to remember here soon is November 15th. That is a Tuesday night this year. Stelzer's was busy on Wednesday, so I chose a Tuesday night to do our team photos, and more info will be coming out with that. So we usually start at about 5:30. Our team pictures is about 6:15. So that beginner intermediate group will not practice that night. But because we're on a Tuesday this year, the advanced group will practice that night after team pictures. So a little bit of a change there. Meet signups are always due the Wednesday prior to that Saturday meet. Sometimes they are due sooner depending on when the host team, if we're going to an away meet, needs those entries. And I always try to let you know via email. We'll send it out on Remind and also put it on our Facebook page on how all of that works. So Heather's on here now. Heather, how do I make somebody else an admin so I don't have to keep track of the weight room? Heather, did she get on here?
I don't get to be the admin for Zoom. So.
Well, fine. All right, I'll just keep rolling and hopefully I catch people who are in the weight room here. Okay. We always do PBs or personal bests on Monday. First thing in practice. It's amazing what kids, they swim for candy. So we do that the first thing Monday at the beginning of each practice. We track the kids' personal best times. So they're really swimming against themselves. Yes, it is a team sport, but there are individual goals as well. Wednesdays, we'll do our team talks. That's when we do our nutrition talks or our goal setting. Those types of things are done on Wednesdays, and those will all be kind of on the calendar. Everything is subject to change depending on kind of what that week is bringing, what we need to work on. So I always try to keep you updated with all of that through our weekly updates and things like that. But I have kind of a general schedule of when we do those things. After each meet on that Monday, ribbons, we'll have ribbon boxes down underneath those blue tarps sitting right on the ledge at the end of lane 8. The kids can pick up their ribbons from those ribbon boxes the Monday after. So please don't pick up your ribbons the day of the meet. Usually our ribbon people are still trying to get labels onto ribbons and getting things sorted. So it's kind of chaotic at the end of the meet to get that all done. So we ask that you wait till Monday to pick those ribbons up. Okay. Any questions? All right. Once the season starts, I don't do this for Porpoise Club because it's not near as a big a group. We do ask that everybody enters and exits through those blue wave doors on the north side of the building. So you can pick up your kiddos on that north side. Please remind your kids to not go bolting out into the parking lot. We also try to remind members to drive slower through that area, especially when it's dark early. It's dark by the time literally our first practice is getting ready to start, and definitely by that second practice when we get towards the middle of the season. So remind your kiddos to watch for cars, don't bolt out. If you are driving in that area, please drive extremely cautiously. There's a lot of little bodies running everywhere once we let practice out, as well as people arriving. Try not to arrive too early for practices. Usually 5 minutes is more than enough time. If they arrive too early, they tend to start messing around in either bleachers, or they're running throughout the Y, or messing around in the locker room. So just keeping them to that 5 minutes right before practice. They come in, drop their stuff. If they come in their suit, they can drop their stuff in the bleachers and just get ready to jump right into the pool, and then they don't have time to mess around. So that is nice if you kind of hold them off to that. I just talked about that, about being careful in that parking lot. Limited use of the locker rooms, yes, especially once it gets cold. Definitely change out of the wetsuits into dry, warm clothes. I kind of become that mom that yells at them for running outside with sopping wet hair in a wetsuit. So they can change into dry, warm clothes and leave that way. We just ask that they're not in there messing around, taking those long showers. Again, that's when kind of some horseplay gets going on. So if they just change and go and shower at home, that's probably the best use. We do ask that they do not use the family locker rooms unless there's a special circumstances, which we've had, and it's totally okay. But as far as the main group, not use the family locker rooms. We really try to save those for swim, lesson kids, and all that. Can nobody hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I just got a message that I was on silent. Okay, maybe not. Okay. Let's see. We are still, in the midst of COVID, as well as cold and flu season is coming up. So if your child does not feel good, or they have a really extremely bad cough, please keep them home. Once we get into the water, they're all at the exact same level with their faces right at the surface of the water. So, if they're coughing and hacking, that's getting into everybody's face that is in that lane. So again, if they are not feeling well, please keep them home. It's okay if they miss a practice or two, and all that. And obviously, yeah, we can't wear masks in the water. So make sure you bring your own towels. The Y still does not have a towel service. Also, they need water bottles. They don't know it, but they are sweating when they're working out and swimming a lot. So they need to rehydrate. When I start seeing a lot of cramps and things, that's telling me that the kids are not drinking enough water. And ask them to please not share their water bottles. They are their own. Caps and goggles. Caps are not required. Goggles are required. Make sure they have backup pairs in case one breaks, because they do, and it happens quite often. So that they have backup pairs of either caps or goggles. Again, caps are optional. Let's see, like I said, 5 minutes, they come in, they grab their fins, their kickboards. They pretty much get into a routine after the first couple practices of knowing what equipment they get, and then they'll know what lanes that they are swimming in. The first couple days look a little bit like organized chaos as we're trying to adjust and get people into the right lanes according to swimming ability. So forgive us for that, but it does all work itself out within the first week or so. We'll ask the kids to remember that the lane that they're swimming in at the end of the first day, that will be most likely the lane that they're in next time. However, we have different kids coming different nights. So it may adjust depending on the night. So we always have the little ones ask, what lane am I in? And that's okay. We'll get them where they need to be. Admit whoever just came in. All right. The season begins October 24th. The first 5 weeks are really focused on 1 week of each stroke, the 5th week on those starts and turns and relay exchanges. Now we'll actually have our first meet before that 5th week comes this year. So the week of Thanksgiving is actually our starts and turns and relay exchanges. So that'll be a fun week for the kids to go into the Thanksgiving, as we only have practice Monday, Tuesday that week. So each practice throughout the season will consist of drill, kick, aerobic, and anaerobic and sprint sets. Tuesday and Thursday are usually our race pace nights. They're a little higher intensity nights. Once we get into the season, the beginning of the season, we focus on that stroke technique. Mid-season, we're more of an aerobic base, so we're really getting in those yards and things like that. And then at the end of the season, we're really working on those sprints and race pace and preparing them for that championship season. Everyone that swims 3 regular season meets is able to swim our sectional swim meet that is held here on February 12th. So let's see. Do we have practice 10:31? That would be our first night of, no, second, that's the second week of practice. No, we will not. We might have an older practice and make it just one practice that night. That is a great question, Christy, sorry, can't talk. We will most likely just make it a one practice optional that night. Most likely all of our little ones will be out trick-or-treating. So great question, thank you. Okay, back to this. February 12th is our sectional swim meet. That is the last opportunity. It does count as one of the 3 meets. If for some reason somebody doesn't have 3 meets in by that time, it does count as that 3rd meet if needed to qualify for state. But I really would not wait to that. We did lose 1 home meet this year. It was just due to some scheduling things. So you may have to travel to an away meet if you cannot make 3 home meets that we do host prior to sectionals. So if kids qualify by time for their state and regional meets, so those have state qualifying times that they need to meet in order to qualify for those meets, those kids will continue to swim if they choose past February 12th. Everybody else, their season will be kind of done at that point. But we want everybody to come to the swim team banquet at the end of the season. So if kids do qualify for state and regionals, there are additional coaching fees and meet fees beyond those points. Okay, and that is actually on when you sign up, that is actually listed on the payment form. And I don't have them right in front of me. I think it's like $10 meet fee for state, $30 coaching fee. That's all for state. So $40 for state, and then regionals is the $30 coaching fee. And then it is a flat $35 regional splash fee. So it ends up being a little bit more for those regional meets. All right. Any questions on how the season kind of works? Okay. So this is how we kind of figure out who's in what practices. That intermediate group, depending, some kids could go to either practices, but we try to get them into the best fit. Some kids prefer in that white group to go to the beginner practice because the advanced one is just a little overwhelming, and vice versa. They want to go up to the advanced group if they're in this intermediate group. So we kind of make it work both ways. But basically it's really that beginner group for the brand new swimmers. They have no meet times. You know, they're expected to practice about twice a week. Honestly, you know, twice a week is enough, especially for the itty bitties. They don't need to do much more than that. They can, but you also don't want to burn them out and stress them out either. Swimming is a lot and it is a long season. So just keep that in mind as we kind of go through. They're learning the basic stroke techniques, stroke development with starts and turns and the relays. As they get into that intermediate group, they're going to be swimming more lengths of the pool. At this point, they know all 4 competitive strokes, back, breast, fly, and free. They're expected to practice 2 to 3 times a week. And then yardage for an hour-long practice is anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 yards. So they're swimming a little bit more. If we go by times, their 50 free time would be between 41 and 60 seconds. So there's a pretty big range in there. That's why I said they could kind of go either way. That advanced group, they really need to be able to swim a 50 free under the time of 40 seconds and 100 free under the time of 1:30. And it's because of the sets that we do and the speeds that we do them at that advanced practice. The advanced kids, you know, at this point, they've made that commitment to swim team. They're practicing anywhere from 3 to 4 times per week. And again, their yardage is up to 2,500 to 4,000 yards per practice. So they're swimming a lot more lengths. We're not spending near after those first 5 weeks. We warm up with the stroke drills and things like that, but that's about it. That is our stroke drill practice, is usually during our warm up and cool down times. We don't take a lot of time during the meat of the practice to do those things. So any questions on how we came up with the different groups? Okay, these are a quiet group. Dryland and technique. This is Wednesdays from 5:15 to 6:15. Patty coaches this. This really is for those advanced kids or older intermediate kids. And really is because of the things that they do in it. The real young ones or those beginner kids, their little bodies just aren't quite ready for some of that dryland and tech and things that they do. So the younger kids will still have practice. The beginner kids will just be in the water working on some really specific things on that particular Wednesday in the water, while the older kids are actually doing dryland stuff. So that's how that works. If they're doing the dryland with Patty, they are required to wear tennis shoes. If they show up in Crocs or flip-flops, they will not be allowed to do dryland. They will be asked to get into the water and swim. So tennis shoes are required. That's not an option. Also make sure they have shorts and t-shirts. They can wear their suits underneath as they'll get into the water from 6:15 to 7 and do some light technique stuff after their dryland practice on Wednesdays. We understand that a lot of families have church activities on Wednesdays, which is perfectly fine. So, you know, a lot of families will do that first practice of swimming, and then they'll take off and go to youth groups, which is perfectly okay. Is it okay that they run late to practice? Absolutely. Just kind of let us know. We want to know that they're late because of a school activity or something else, or getting into town. Not because they're horsing around in the locker room. So that is okay. Just let us know that they'll be late for, you know, because you can't get them there right at time or whatever. So, okay, good question again. All right, into the suits. So I already had a question about suits. The only piece of equipment I absolutely require is a set of good goggles. The Vanquisher 2.0s are probably the best goggles to use. However, kids like different styles of goggles, and that is totally okay. What I have on the screen are those Vanquishers 2.0s, and there's all sorts of colors and styles, and they can be mirrored, they can be clear. That doesn't matter. Just a good set of goggles. They do cost around $20, but they work probably best. Do not, especially for those new parents with younger kids, buy the kids, the youth size. When they say youth, they're talking like 3-year-olds. So go ahead and get the adult size. There are different nose piece sizes in those in that adult size. You can adjust them down to fit your younger kids and all that. So don't buy the youth, those are way too small. So go ahead and buy the adult size or the regular size goggles if you get those Vanquishers. Team suits. So on our team site, oh, I can't spell. That is supposed to say flyback. The Roost Blocks flyback suit. So the style is up on the screen, what you see right here. Boys and girls suits, they are optional. You are not required to have a team suit. That is, an optional purchase. I do try to keep them for 2 years. I did pick a new suit out last year. However, as we were kind of going through things, we realized the suit that we had last year is no longer available anywhere except for like a size 20. So I had to make the decision to go ahead and pick a new suit. So again, this is optional. If you do want a new suit, this is the team suit that we have chosen for this year. So you are able to do that. Also, when we get to the swim outlet, I'll show you all sorts of different things. The one things I do not want to see, and it really applies to the females, are these Jolie suits. And those are the ones where they're very, very cut. We don't want those at the Y for the younger kids or older kids. So find suits that are full coverage or at least 3/4 coverage on the back end, and not cut really thin up in the front side either, so, or the sides. So if you have any questions regarding a suit, you can ask, but basically as 3/4 of their back end hangs out, then they probably shouldn't wear it to the Y. Any questions regarding equipment and all that? And I'll show you where to find all this here in just a few minutes. No? Okay. Headsets, I told you I'd get to it. So I do have these headsets in my office. If you choose to purchase a pair for your child, for their own, that you are responsible for, headsets, the red and blue ones are $60 and the yellow ones are $85. They both work just as fine. They both work well. It's really kind of a preference. The yellow ones are a little bit more rigid and do fit kind of the younger kids a little bit better, where these fit the older kids. Either one works perfectly fine. Again, these are optional. We will have headsets charged that the kids can borrow when they come into practice. That'll be one of the pieces of equipment that they can buy. Some people prefer not to share, which is perfectly fine. You can purchase your own. So these are in my office. Let me know if you would like to purchase a pair, and I can get those to you. So the headsets are fantastic because we as coaches can talk directly to the kids while they are swimming. It's instant feedback for them. We don't have to wait till they get to the end of the lane to talk to them about stroke technique and whatnot. We can do that as they are swimming. So we love it. One of the good things that came out of COVID, I guess, if you want to look at the bright side. So we got these during the COVID and have absolutely loved them. So does anybody have any questions regarding headsets? Okay, here we go on nutrition. So you're going to see your kiddos. You thought they were hungry, now wait till we start swimming. They're really going to be hungry, and really their caloric intake should almost double from what they're doing right now. But we want it to double with good, healthy foods. We don't want them shoving in a bag of Doritos or donuts and just plain junk food. So with their caloric intake, make sure that they're eating good, solid, healthy fruit, lots of fruits and veggies, and lots of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are your cereals, breads, potatoes, like baked potatoes, not French fries, baked potatoes, good, healthy carbohydrates, anything with a lot of those simple sugars in them to get them going and all of that. They're probably going to want to snack throughout their school day. I don't know who has lockers or not, but sometimes I even tell my kids, put a granola bar in your locker. And when you go out for recess, take a bite or two of your granola bar. And that just helps kind of sustain them throughout the day. If they have those snacks in their bag and then they run to the locker and can do that. Make sure that they're drinking lots of water. I'll have the same talk with the kiddos during our nutrition talk. Really, they should be drinking enough water that when they go to the bathroom, that it's a very pale yellow to almost clear. So that's how much water they should be drinking, a lot. They will get cramps in the pool once we start getting into the meat of those workouts. So you'll want to avoid, anything like pop or energy drinks. Energy drinks are absolutely terrible for kids. And I know they all drink them. So just be aware of that. Try to have them not drink those things during the swim season and drink more of the sports drinks to water. One thing I do like to have kids do too, and I try to do this with mine, is to eat within 30 minutes after practice. So if they're taking 15 minutes in the shower and you have a 30-minute ride home, that's 45 minutes after practice. Their bodies have a harder time recovering from that practice. So if you have chocolate milk's probably about the best thing to get those instant calories into their body and help their bodies recover from those tough practices. So, something quick in their bag right after practice they can eat on the way home, and then they get their meal or their fuller meal when they get home. And I will go more in depth. Parents are always welcome to join us when I do any of our talks and listen in to our PBs and things like that. So please feel free to join us for any of those conversations. I'll go a little bit more in depth in that, but just know that they need to get all those in. Okay, swim meets. Heather's really good about sending reminds out and things like that tell you how to write all the numbers and things on your hand. Swim meets are not required. There are no extra fees for the regular season meets, but we do highly encourage them. Our inter squad meets is, I changed that date, yeah, is Thursday, November 10th, the day before state, and that is really honestly probably the best place to learn how the swim meet run and work. So we do have a volunteer room. So on our bigger meets, some of our first meets are pretty small. I may not do the volunteer room with food, but I know on one of our bigger meets we will do that so that our volunteers are able to eat and do that. So depending on the meet, whether we will have that food again in the volunteer room. It doesn't make sense to do it for those smaller meets when we're done by noon. So all that. I will go through once we get to the website on how to sign up for meets and volunteering and all of that stuff. I will walk through that here in just a few minutes. If your child does swim in a swim meet, you as a parent or whoever, we do ask that you help with that swim meet. So there are many different ways to help as I get into that next, to help with a swim meet, but we do ask that every family does help out. I'll show you where that swim meet survival guide is, but big thing to do is check in with a coach. Write your events on your arm or your leg as you see over here in this picture. Warm up. When we do warm-ups, we ask the kids not to dive in, that they do a feet first entry. And again, yes, coaches will remind them that. Stay warm and eat and drink throughout the meet. Sometimes they can be longer meets, especially when we go to away meets. We do have one longer meet in January that will run more than our typical here. So it is the kids' / parents' responsibility to pay attention to the events that are being called. We do have a board and an announcer that says what events are being called back behind the blocks. So you guys need to pay attention to that and make sure that the kiddos get back there where they're supposed to be and we get them in the right heat and lanes. Make sure that their goggles are on and that they're listening to the starter, not back behind the blocks, goofing around with their buddy. And most of the time, that's usually my 8 and under boys. No offense, I love them to death, but that's usually them back there playing around with each other. So it is what it is, and that's why we love them. So But most importantly, have fun and swim your best. I know kids are disappointed after some events, you know, and the first thing I always ask them, did you swim your hardest? You know, and if they tell me yes, then hey, it's okay. We're not going to swim our lifetime best every time that we touch the water. So that's pretty much how a swim meet rolls. Again, the inter squad meet will walk through the process on how that all goes. I could explain it now, but when we got to that, nobody would remember anyway. So plan on that inter squad on November 10th. That's during our practice time on that Thursday. Speaking of volunteering, so I said there are plenty of opportunities to volunteer. It takes about 42 people to run a regular swim meet here at the Y, here at Marshtown. And anybody who knows us, we run a very good meet, and people love coming to Marshtown because of how well we run our meets. So about 16 timers, that's 2 timers per lane. We need our stroke and turn judges, anywhere from 4 to 6 of those. And always love having new stroke and turn judges. Our starter, our referee, which is usually D. Then we have 2 Dectronic operators. Those operators are up in the, I gotta make sure I get this right. The Dectronic operators are actually down on deck. Excuse me. They are down on deck. They're running the deck computers. And we will be looking for some new families to learn how to do this. So my other family that used to do it pretty much for all of our meet may or may not have aged out of this. So I have not talked to them, so we'll find out. But we will be looking for a new family to learn how to do that process. So our high tech and skybox media operators are up in the skybox. Again, we have Todd Stanley that is up there, but we're looking for somebody to actually help with that high tech operator. So if you're a computer savvy or you like computer stuff or you know those types of things, please let me know. We will definitely train you on those. And always when, especially with the timers, we pair you up with somebody who's done it before. So you know, we just don't throw you into the pack of wolves. We make sure you know what you're doing. Staging personnel, or the cat herder, as we like to call it. You're making sure those kiddos are, once they're behind the blocks, that they are in the right heat and lanes. And we do have a system to makes that fairly painless to do that as long as they sit still and don't take off on you. So anyway, so staging personnel, get those kiddos in the right heat and lanes. Ribbon personnel, that's usually upstairs on the balcony. Basically, if you can peel a label off and slap it on the back of a ribbon, that's what that job is. That one is a little bit longer. It's throughout the meet, and then actually it takes a little bit after the meet is over to finish that process. Announcer, you're good on the PA system. We're always looking for an announcer. Program sales, that's actually prior to, that's right when the doors open up until about event 25. So you kind of miss the first part of the meet, but then your job is done and you have to be there early. So there's plus and minuses kind of to everyone. There's admissions on here, but we don't do admission, at least for our regular season meets. So on away meets, there's always, you know, a team parent. The coaches are usually out on the deck. So we usually put a parent that is at the away meet kind of in charge of our holding area and making sure the kiddos are paying attention and not getting into trouble. So you see there at the bottom, every family of Blue Wave is expected to help with the state and sectional meet. This is what helps keep the big portion of our costs down because we host that state meet. Our registration fees aren't near as high as what some other communities our size are. So they're quite a bit lower because we host those meets. So we do ask that every family help in some way, shape, or form with those meets. Any question on volunteering? The chat, let me check. Sorry, the coaches are chatting. Oh, shoot. What did I do? Go away. No, I hit the wrong one. There we go. Back. Okay. Here's where I am going to show you how our website works. So we'll go through meet signups, the different links on our websites, where our weekly updates are at. We email those out. We put those on Remind, where the results are at, calendars now. I am still updating our website, and as you'll see when I pull this up, it has a little bit different look to it. Still the same, but just a little bit different look. We had to update it this summer. So just note that not everything is completely updated on our website right now. So I am going to go right here. Can everybody see that? Somebody give me, yay, hey. You can. Is everybody on our website? Are you still on the PowerPoint? Is that a thumbs up that you're on the website? I hope so. Okay.
Whatever
Yes,
you
to
see,
the
we see,
website.
Bev.
What?
Whatever's on your screen is what we see.
Well, I've got multiple screens. That's why I asked.
Oh, yeah, we see the website.
Okay, good. That's what I needed. Okay. So like I said, a little bit different look to this. We did have to update this summer. I am working on updating some of these pictures and things like that. So, but up at the top, you'll see basically kind of where everything's at. If you scroll down on this main page, down at the bottom, you will see some quick links to our Meet signups. That's also at the top. Also the live stream, and you will see here, I just added this the other day, the sign up for the state swimming and diving. So if I click on those links, you know, that live stream, so you can tell family, go straight to our Blue Wave page, go down the bottom, click on that live stream. It takes you right to our live stream page and they can watch our swim meets from here. We ask everybody to subscribe just because it makes it easier than to watch those meets. Okay. Back. Baby. There we go. I'll get back to meet signups. I did put this really cool video on here about YMCA swimming. I might, if we have time here at the end, have everybody watch that as a closing, but I want to make sure that we get through everything before I go do that. So up across the top, you're going to see some different drop downs. Our coaches, what the facility is. This is where you will see your weekly updates posted. As we get those done and get into the season, your weekly updates will be here. You click on that. Actually, I don't have anything there. I think Heather took them all off. So there might not be anything on there. So nothing on there right now, but there will be as we get that going. So if you missed the email and the weekly update, there it is. There's our different seasons, winter and summer. We no longer have a USA season, as I don't have any kiddos swimming USA anymore. What USA is, for those of you who are new, it's just a more of an elite program. We have to have a specialized coach, and my coach is actually coaching high school boys swimming now. So I don't have a coach for USA swimming anymore. So up at the top, this is where the link will be for our live stream during that parent meeting. I will update this right here with the link for our officials training. If you guys decide to take the officials training, you will have to sign up on your own on that link that I send out, and that also that I will post there. I believe Dee is just doing a level 1 this year. So if somebody is in need of your level 2, please let me know so that I can let Dee know. I will update our handbook right here. Any parent information that you need, you can click on these links. My computer is extremely slow right now, so I apologize. So parent involvement, responsibility, the parent code of Bath Lake, all that is right here. A little explanation of kind of what each job is. We can also go to swim meet survival. So this gives you a little bit of information on how to survive a swim meet, what to do, meet preparation. You can go through and kind of read all of that, what each one does, those types of things, what to bring, all that fancy fun stuff. Please note on away meets, parents are responsible for transporting their children, or we always like to carpool a group together. So if you're interested in that, let me know. If your child needs a ride, we can take them, and things like that. So let me check the chat before I go any further. When am I updating the rec wall? They are they're at Sign Creations right now getting made. So as soon as I get them back, they will go up. Okay. Other things, also the goal setting, what we do for goal setting and swimmers nutrition. Here's where I'll post our calendar that I will send out hopefully tomorrow, because I only have a few things to update on that and get that out to you. The calendar for this season. So slow computer, holy mollies. Okay, it's not going to pull it up, so never mind. So the calendar will be posted here each month, and all of that. Events. So I did have a question on how do I even sign up for meets. So under your events tab, if you just do that, this will work two ways. So you can click on events and it'll take you to the sign up page. If you don't remember how, there are two drop downs, how to sign up for a meet and how to sign up for volunteering. You can click on those and it will actually walk you through that process on how to do this. And again, my computer is being ultra slow, so I apologize. We have pictures and all that on how to sign up for things, and all of that. When we send out our first weekly update, we will probably have something in there with this that'll remind you how to do all of that. Okay, so it is there, descriptions on how to sign up for everything. But if you just click on the events tab, that will take you to, and once I get the new meet programs, we have not got those from the state committee yet. I'm actually part of that. They don't have them done yet. Once I get those, I will upload the meet signups to our website. But I do not have those. The only one you're going to see pop up right now on our events page is the girls' high school state swimming and diving. We are asking, this is our big fundraiser this year. We did this last year kind of last minute. We tweaked it a little bit to make it work better. We're asking every family to commit 2 hours. And if you look on this job sign up, so over here, you'll see the job sign up. You click on that and you'll see, if it pops up, all the options to sign up for a time slot. To basically what we're doing is collecting $10 or scanning QR codes. Anybody with a cell phone can do this with a smartphone. I'm sorry, I should say just cell phone. A smartphone can scan the QR codes. We get all the proceeds for the diving, state swimming and diving meet. Last year we charged $5. This year we're charging $10, which is pretty much the standard going rate. So all that money from the 3 different sessions comes directly back to our Blue Wave program. So we're asking every family to help with that, commit 2 hours to scanning QR codes. Is this thing slow as I'm talking here? So it is slowly pulling up. I know, right? And it looks like we have some families that have already signed up. For those families who are not in my system yet, I am going to work really hard at some point, sooner rather than later, to get you in the system so that you can sign up for those time slots. So if you are not on our Team Unify system yet, I will work at getting you in and sending you that email so you can sign up for an account. Okay, so give me a day or so to get those done. At the latest, probably first part of next week to do that. The families have already signed up during a time. You stand outside, you scan the QR codes, and then literally that's it. Andy was a rock star last year and brought the tent, the heater, he had it all. So there are different times, cleanups and all of that. But here's where I really need the parking attendant, where I really need families' help and that sort of things. The hard one will be Friday because most people work on Fridays. So we'll have to really work at getting the Friday slots filled. I'm not so worried about Saturday's times during the finals, but yeah. Any questions regarding the state meet or signing up for volunteering? This is how volunteering basically works. This is what it would look like on the screen. You would just select a spot. So if I made my husband do this, where should I put him? I would just click this spot and I'm going to go back up to the top. I'm going to hit sign up and I'm going to put John in there. I can always take him off. And so I've signed John up for that 7 o'clock time frame on Friday. That makes sense? Okay. Let's go back. Huh? Zoe's sitting in my office for anybody who wants to say hi. I do keep talking. Okay. So once the swim meet's on there, you'll literally sign up the same way for a swim meet. You'll click on the events tab. Hopefully it doesn't take that long again. The events will pop up. The only difference is you'll see sign up for swim meet. I can go. Maybe I can't on this one. Oh, yeah, I can. And I can click on any meet here. So the meets are going to say pass, but they'll have different meets that look like this. It'll give you information about the meet. If you click on the meet event itself, a lot of times on that, it will have more information about it, as well as it'll have any documents or any things, directions, those types of things right on there. So I've uploaded results to all these, so you won't see that. When I can hit edit commitment on this, so it's probably not gonna let me do it because the meet is passed. Like I said, I'll get our meets this year on there as soon as I can. Oh, it is. So it's gonna bring up my kids, Michael and Molly, and when you are in your account, it'll bring up your own kiddos. Come on, come on, Nelly. Anybody have any questions why this is loading up? Okay. So at the top, it'll say edit commitment. It'll bring up Michael and I can edit his commitment. Then I can go through and pick their events as far as the meet goes and all of that here. So most of the time, beginner swimmers are going to stick really to the freestyle and backstroke strokes. So for the younger ones, 25 free, 25 back, or possibly a 50 free, 50 back. Probably until we get into the meat of the season, I wouldn't be choosing hundreds and things like that for those brand new swimmers. Let them get kind of used to it before they do any of that. Forgive my coaches. Okay. We have a good time if you haven't figured that out. We like to have a good time and give each other hard times. Okay. Time standards, again, I'll get those updated time standards for state and qualifying. Ooh, where are you going? State and qualifying and all of that, those regional times, those will all be updated here in the next week or so, as well as the records. When we get results in, I will also post the results for each meet under that results tab as a PDF. You can go in and look at them and things like that. There's also a team calendar that we'll be working on setting up. So you can hit the calendar and it's going to bring up a calendar. We'll get all the practices and everything on this, but you also are going to get a printout that's a lot more fun to stick on your refrigerator to do that. Okay. Okay, so down at the very bottom of my home page, I want to show you our store on Swim Outlet. So down at the very bottom, you're going to see these tabs that are quick links. When we get Blue Wave Apparel, you can click on this link right here. That'll take you to Adlin Engraving. We do all of our ordering for our team apparel online. And as soon as Judy and I get that all set up, I'll let you know, and you can go in and order your apparel as you choose. I believe that that link will be open all season. So our Swim Outlet tab, these are just different tabs if you want information on USA Swimming. This takes you to our Iowa Y Swimming site that gives you a little bit more information on when it comes to states and regionals and things like that again. And then also the boys union and the girls union, or girls athletic union as well. The boys association, I'm sorry, and the girls union. Okay, our team store. So click on the Swim Outlet tab. And it's going to bring up our team site. I highly encourage you to use this because all of the money, we get 10% back from all of the orders made on Swim Outlet. And so that's a way that I purchase new equipment that we need, fins, stopwatches, those types of things. I use that money from the rewards that we use or that we get to purchase those types of things. So you're going to see different practice suits, and I did add some new practice suits. I tried to find really cheap ones. If I click on this, it's going to bring up a whole bunch of options for different practice suits. There are some more expensive ones, but I did get some cheaper ones. And really on the practice suits, I try to keep them under $20 because they go through them fairly quickly as when they're in the water that much. So there's lots of different options that you can do. Please don't buy suits like this. I don't know why that's on there. I did not put it on there. It was really tiny. Like I didn't put that on there. I just added a bunch today. Yeah, so $14, $18, and you know, they're not the prettiest suits, but they do work for practice suits. Those grab bag ones, especially the ugly grab bag ones, are really fun. And those always work. I like uglies. It's super cute. Suits. Yeah. Our team suits are right here. So here are team suits. We are going to do not the red and blue because we try to stay away from those Bobcat colors. But we do the blue one here, the Speedo blue. Okay. So you get on the blue. There we go. So the Speedo blue, that will be our team suit right there. If anybody has any questions, again, those are optional. You'll see right here where it says member price for like $5 a year, $5.99. You can be a Swim Outlet member. It saves you a ton of money. The first time you purchase something, you'll pay for your membership. So highly encourage you to do that membership as well because you do save a lot of money doing it. The last thing I really wanted to point out as we get into the championship season, I put tech suits on here now. One thing with the tech suits, younger kids, 12 and under can wear tech suits, but they need to have this label right here, that 12 and under label. A 12 and under swimmer could not wear a suit like what you see right here. Okay, so this one right here, those are not approved for 12 and under swimmers. 13 and over could wear this. It is FINA approved and it is approved by the Y, but 12 and under couldn't. They will be disqualified if they do not have a approved suit. So if you're buying your younger swimmers tech suits, and trust me, those that are 8 and under do not need it. Okay, you're looking at more your elite swimmers, those that are probably going to go on to that regional level. So doesn't mean you can't, but really they're quite a bit of money, and there's only, depending on how well they take care of the suits, there's only about 5 to 6 swims in these suits, and then they kind of run their course. So you know, their suits meant just, you know, just a few swims. They're not gonna be worn for years on end. So that's a lot of money to spend unless your child's completely committed to that. Totally up to you how you wanna do that. Again, these are not, by far not required. So if you're looking at getting a tech suit for your child who's 12 and under, make sure they are labeled 12 and under eligible. Any questions on tech suits? Okay, that's pretty much the gist of our website. I really suggest going in and kind of playing with it. Again, I will work on those of you who are brand new and do not have a Team Unify account yet. I will work on getting those done as quickly as possible and getting you into the system. So we are going to go back to this. We are going to go back to this. So fundraisers again, the parking attendance for the girls' high school state meet will be one. I'm looking at doing a duck derby this year on January. I wrote it down. Monday, January 16th from 6 to 6:30 doing a duck derby. And more info will come out on that. Also, we will be working on this winter selling the signage that you do see in the pool that does need to be replaced. Anybody has any other great ideas on fundraising and things like that? Carol, we do have to wait for a lot of it for our annual campaign to be over. So a lot of it will be in January, other than the state swim meet. So just keep that in mind. We have to wait until our annual campaign is over. Okay. All right. Almost to the end here. Keeping informed. We have multiple ways of keeping you informed on the Mobile On Deck app. You can download that. It's called On Deck. Download that to your phone. Once you have access to the website, it'll be the same login for that On Deck app as it is our Team Unify site. We do have a Facebook page, so go and find our Blue Wave Facebook page, like us. We do send information out on that when we need to. Oops. Our YouTube channel, that is our live stream channel. So that link, I showed you where it's at. And then our Remind app. So to join, if you have Remind on your phone already, the code to get into our team is at 9D4BH2. Okay. This information is also in the coach or the handbook when you come in and register. So if you don't get that all right now. Okay. You may have any questions? One in the chat. Will we be doing caps? Yes, they are the same blue ones that we did last year. If you need a new cap, those orders are due by October 27th. Anybody else have any questions that I did not cover in this? No questions? Going. Okay, well, that concludes this, guys. So again, don't hesitate to email me with questions or anything like that. Well, a lot of information will be coming out here in the next couple of weeks. The beginning of the season always a little bit crazy, so I apologize for the probably mass amounts of emails you will get. But again, we want to keep everybody informed as much as we can. Don't hesitate to ask. Okay, I guess that is it then. I'm gonna give you back 11 minutes of your evening. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna stop that screen share. There we go. Thanks for being here. Hi, everybody's faces. I didn't see everybody, so again, this was recorded, so I will post everything on the website here once I stop this recording. So, all right, well, if that's it, I will let you all be. So have a great night. See ya.